Greetings, Allures and Hunters. This is Mad Hatter Patrick, and welcome to the first installment that I like to call Versus. It's kind of like comparing an old cartoon to a reboot, except it's more than that. Not only do I plan on comparing old and new media, but I will also look over sequels in two different media with similar storylines and themes, and determine which one is superior. And today's first episode is not really on movies or TV shows, but on video games. That's right, in honor of their unanniversaries, I'm going to look over Spyro 2 RIPTO'S Rage and Spyro Year of the Dragon. The first two Spyro games from the original trilogy have been considered by many fans to be the best games of the series. Now, the first Spyro game was still pretty good in terms of visuals and gameplay, but there was not much story, limited abilities, and a painful camera that was hard to control. But the other two really stepped things up with new characters and abilities, but people are trying to think over which of these two is considered the best. And as much as I love both of these games, I had to pick which one is my favorite. Both of them follow the same structure, mechanics, and gameplay, which makes them almost equal to each other. And that's where Versus comes in. So here's how this is going to work. We're going to look over 5 different categories, and whichever game receives the most points from each of them wins the match. It's time to figure out the truth on which Spyro sequel is the best sequel. So bite your nails and grab hold of your prize-possessed dragon egg. This is Spyro 2 RIPTO'S Rage versus Spyro Year of the Dragon. Round 1, Storytelling. Now back then, video games didn't really have much digital storytelling as, say, the new Spider-Man game or Undertale. They pretty much have the simple story as the Mario games. But both of these games are almost simple as the first Spyro video game. In Spyro 2, it's raining in the Dragon Realms, much to Spyro's annoyance, so he and Sparks decide to take a vacation to Dragon Shores. But his flight gets delayed when he ends up in Avalar and meets some memorable characters. A fawn named Allura, a mole called the Professor, and a cheetah named Hunter. They summon Spyro to free Avalar from an evil dictator named Ripto. Why him? Because Ripto hates dragons.
A dragon? You brought a dragon to Avalar? I hate dragons! Gah!
Now Spyro must collect some talisman to free everyone, defeat Ripto, and get back to his Dragon Shores vacation. In the third game, a sorceress apprentice named Bianca and a group of Rhinox stole some dragon eggs and scattered them all over the Forgotten Realms by order of the sorceress. Since none of the dragons can fit down the holes the Rhinox left, Spyro and Hunter must find the eggs and bring them back to the Dragon Realms. Both of these stories are told pretty well, but there are some key differences which we'll get to in a minute. Spyro 3 seems to be the game to tell a story where we actually learn what the Forgotten Realms are. It used to be ruled by dragons, and they are actually a magic source. But then they were all banished by the sorceress. That's pretty fascinating. Sure, Spyro's 2 story is good, but it comes through the old Chosen One cliche, where only a dragon to defeat Ripto. But there is one key difference that 2 has over 3. It's the other cutscenes. Whenever you enter a level in Avalar, it unveils a cutscene on what is happening to the locals of the level under Ripto's tyranny, and another one after you help them. Like in Idle Springs, the Tikis come to life and attack the builders, and after you rescue the builders, you see them in a friendly Tiki roasting marshmallows and weenies on a fireplace. In Spyro 3, it doesn't have those cutscenes. Instead, they just tell us that the Rhinox are taking over their homes.
While I was gone, my friends borrowed the Rhinox submarine, and then they took it for a joyride, and then they smashed it into a big pile of rocks.
You see my point here? How awesome would it be if we see a bunch of seals ride and crash a Rhinox submarine? The actual cutscenes have more stories than the levels you play in Spyro 3, but the level cutscenes in Spyro 2 are fascinating to gaze upon. There's even one story where a bunch of birds and worms are at war with each other. That's ingenious! I love both of these games, but I have to admit, RIPTO'S Rage just got closer. Round 1 goes to Spyro 2. Round 2, Levels. The Spyro games have been known for their huge variety of levels. Even some of the lesser known games can carry some unique levels in terms of visuals and NPCs. In Spyro 2, there are 3 homeworlds, 4 speedways, 3 boss stages, and 18 regular levels. In Year of the Dragon, there are 4 homeworlds, 4 speedways, 4 Sparks levels, 4 boss stages, and 21 regular levels. And I think I already found out my answer to this round, but let me explain why. Now, both of these games have some great levels and similar missions. Spyro 2 is known to have some underwater levels like Aquaria Towers and Sunny Beach, war zones like Zephyr, and of course, out-of-this-world levels like Metropolis. But Spyro 3 has more variety than the other one. The only thing that makes them similar are the Speedway games, except one has more than just one reward challenge. But it's not just based on numbers that the third game did well, but also structure and diversity. The 4 homeworlds represent the time zones like sunrise, midday, evening, and midnight. In Spyro 2, they have summer forest, on plains, and winter tundra, 3 of the 4 seasons of the year. But wait a minute, what about spring? I feel like the circle is incomplete. According to the makers of RIPTO'S race, there were no plans into making a spring homeworld, and stated Glimmer is supposed to represent spring.
Well, they have grass, so it's a spring level.
Even the regular episodes in the third game feel massive with great levels like Fireworks Factory, Haunted Tunes, Bamboo Thicket, Seashell Shore, and many more. Spyro 2 did have some nice levels, but I'm sorry, at times like this, the numbers don't lie.
Point goes to Year of the Dragon.
Round 3, Gameplay and Mechanics. The Spyro games are known for their simple gameplays like Flame, Charge, Jump, and Fly, but in the other games, they give us new abilities. Both Spyro 2 and 3 gives us the ability to swim underwater, climb ladders, and headbash objects and enemies. However, Year of the Dragon would have to win part 1 of this round because in Spyro 2, you had to pay for those abilities from moneybags instead of getting a tutorial with no charge. There are no other abilities RIPTO'S Rage has that Year of the Dragon doesn't. All the other gameplays in Spyro 3 are more abilities to some of the other playable characters and skateboarding moves. With mechanics, Spyro 2 needs you to collect 14 talismans to fight RIPTO'S monsters and orbs to unlock portals and passageways. But you can easily win over those talismans and there's not much areas that needs to be unlocked for the orbs. Only 2 speedways, 2 portals, 1 passageway, RIPTO'S Battle Arena, and the gateway to Dragon Shores. In Year of the Dragon, you need to collect as much Dragon Eggs as you can to unlock portals, which helps how the Forgotten Realms functions as a place where dragons are a magical resource.
But when the dragons left, it all just dried up.
Is that why some of the portals don't work?
Yeah, they're starting to fade out too, one by one.
So while they both have good gameplays and mechanics, Year of the Dragon enhances them even further to make them more challenging.
Once again, point goes to Spyro 3.
I'm just doing my job.
Round 4, Side Quest. Whenever you complete a side quest, you will win an orb or a dragon egg. Most of them are pretty good, but some of which are just annoying. RIPTO'S race challenges are mostly simplistic with some scavenger hunts, flying challenges, and time limits. Spyro 3, on the other hand, have more flying challenges, time limits, racing, first-person shooting, and skateboarding. So I'll talk about one side quest that I like and dislike from each game. I like the Sheep Invasion challenge in Metropolis where you can super fly and super flame everything. Which is why Metropolis is one of my favorite levels in Spyro 2, where you can soar anywhere you like. I also like the Rain Cloud challenge in Cloud Spires where you had to get rid of the evil spirits to ring the bells and the cloud feels happy and starts raining. I thought it was pretty cute and cartoony and interesting on how Cloud Spires works as a weather machine. But now comes the frustrating ones. In Spyro 2, you have the Alchemist challenge, and oh my, I dislike this quest. You have to escort the Alchemist to free Hunter from his stone prison and keep the Earthshapers from breaking his potion. Well, guess what? The Alchemist likes to walk around wherever he goes, and you can't predict where he's going, so you have to remember every path he takes after you finish that quest. And you have another side quest to headbutt the Earthshapers with Hunter. But if you don't get the Headbash ability yet, you have to start the Alchemist challenge all over again. At least Troubles with the Trolley was spectacularly frustrating with its one-liner. In this one, you want to put this guy on fire!
Young man, will you escort me to Hunter so I can heal his feet?
Oh sure, just take the path straight ahead and move to the left.
Actually, I was thinking of moving outside the pathway.
Are you sure? Because there are a bunch of monsters out there and they love to smash things whenever they see something.
No, I feel safer this way if I move outside the pathway and you protect me from those monsters.
You forgot to take your pills, didn't you?
Yes.
In Spyro 3, you have the Slippery Tank Challenge in the Haunted Tombs. Not only do you have to solve a riddle to gain access to this game, but you have to steer carefully or the Rhinox will blast you. And there's actually 2 rounds in this tank challenge, and even if this is a side quest, you will still lose a life. And come to think of it, the more I think about it, some of the sports challenges like the cat hockey, Yeti wrestling, and racing the Yetis are the worst side quests of the 3rd game. So this was a close call, but Spyro 2 seems to be the winner. At least in the Alchemist challenge, you can figure out how to finish it, but the tank challenge is based on luck and strategy like chess. I have no other ways to say for this round, but checkmate. Congratulations, Spyro 2, you win this round. Round 5, Boss Stages. The boss battles are usually the best parts in any video game, whether it be the villains themselves or how powerful they are. In the first Spyro game, the bosses were creative in terms of designs, but most of them ended up running like cowards. In the other 2 games, they are set for battle. In RIPTO'S Raid, you have Ripto himself and his monsters, Crush and Gulp. All 3 of these villains have great battle arenas and abilities, especially with Gulp's Gamma Ray. Spyro, You're the Dragon, on the other hand, has a variety of monsters. You have a buzzsaw reptile, a menacing-looking Yeti, a nightmare-inducing bat creature, and the main villain, the Sorceress. The monsters in that game are great, but then you have the Sorceress. Now the Sorceress has some cool spell powers, and the way you defeat her with vehicles are also awesome. But whenever you ride a vehicle, she ends up running away most of the time, and her final stand in the bonus level is just fighting her in a flying saucer, not some arena bigger than the other one. Ripto's battle actually has 3 stages on defeating him. One, you had to fight him regularly, the next you had to fight him and his Mecha Gulp, and the final stage is flying in the air against him and his mechanical bird. Now that is how you do a showdown! But those aren't the only bosses you have to battle. You have some other bosses in the level side quest. You're the Dragon has a variety of bosses like Bluto the Rhinoc and his mechanical shark, a wizard Rhinoc, 2 Chinese dragons, and some bug bosses in Sparks levels. Unfortunately, Spyro 2 does not have much bosses as Spyro 3. Even the first Spyro game has more bosses than this one. The only side boss this game had to offer is the Ox in Metropolis, but you had to fight him on ice while he throws bombs at you. Jeez, how exciting. Some could argue that the Master Chef in Sunny Beach and Bombo the Flykeeper are considered side bosses, but they're more like obstacles since you don't necessarily fight them. There's even a plot in Colossus where you have to get rid of a Yeti, and you don't battle him. It was pretty much dumb luck that this Yeti killed himself. That's like saying all my problems suddenly disappear if some sort of threat comes in and had an accident. Nobody move! I'm here to steal all your loot and cut out your limbs! I need to have Marvin update security. Spyro 2 needs more bosses so that you can be ready to fight Ripto in the final stage. It's a lot like Kingdom Hearts, where you had to battle a bunch of Heartless bosses and Disney villains before you can finally face Maleficent and Ansem. We love fighting those bosses because it helps us be prepared for the final stage. With not enough levels and also not enough bosses, Spyro 2 does not have a chance for this round. So the final round goes to Spyro 3, and by 3 to 2 points, the winner of this match goes to Spyro You're the Dragon! Winner, Spyro 3! Did you agree with my choice? What are your favorite Spyro games? Feel free to leave them in the comments below, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe me for a new review and other project. I'm Matt Patrick. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to watch some fireworks in Fireworks Factory. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe me for a new review and other project every week. I'll see you soon.